Chukwudi, what exactly is your work? 2 years, you have sold phone, you have sold car, you have sold shoes, and now you are selling furniture. What exactly is your work? Now, are you like Chukwudi, that you have been selling different kind of things? I understand. I'm sure it's because you are trying to make ends meet. Country hard. That is one of the reasons why in the next 100 days, I'm going to be showing you a better way of doing this thing. How you can find purpose, how you can stay and focus on a business and build it and become a huge name. I'm going to be teaching you how to build a successful business. And even if you decide that you want to go online and you want to diversify, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do it. And also I'm going to be fixing that mindset of yours that has been taking you pure. Join me on this 100-day journey. It's absolutely free. Titled Mind and Money. I am going to be teaching you skills that will help you transform not just your mind but also your pocket. Click on the link below to get registered. See you there. Much Gary they cause and you know say this your Gary way they take and because of Satan. Now let me show you how you can increase your income. Let me show you ways. Stop drinking Gary every single day. There are other types of food. There's rice, there's beans, there's chicken, there's so many other things. But you cannot afford those things if you rely on only one source of income, which is your salary. In the next 100 days, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can make money both from cryptocurrency, forex, and from owning a business. And that is not just all. I'll be adding a bonus on teaching you life skills, how to get out of depression, how to handle breakup, and how to live a best life. If you are interested in turning finance around, click on the link below and join me on this transformative journey. It is absolutely free. Stop drinking Gary every time. Because I said it's free doesn't mean that the link is going to remain open forever. Get on board. I'll see you then.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to day 85. Wow. It's been an awesome journey, right? It's been an awesome journey. And today is Sunday. Sunday. 85 days into this, 15 days to go. Right? Okay, so we started this and it felt like, it felt really unsurmountable. It didn't feel like it was achievable, right? But here we are, day 85, and this is the end of the 12th week. It's supposed to be a 14 weeks program, the end of the 12th week. So, voila. All right, so we are going to continue on the growth series tonight. And today we are going to be looking at the principle of elasticity. The principle of elasticity. Okay, so I have physics background, and we dealt with, or we studied elasticity, different laws of elasticity, linear expansivity, and the rest of them. But there's one particular law that I want to bring to our notice here, and the law is Hooke's law. Okay, so Hooke's law is a law that states that provided the elastic limit of an elastic material is not exceeded, the force applied is directly proportional to the tension, provided the elastic limit of an elastic material is not exceeded. Now, I'm sure most of you have had, an elastic material before, either a rubber band for ladies, what you used to pack your hair, and the rest of them. And for guys, you still use your rubber band. You use it to pack money, you use it to bind money. And I'm sure some of you have all those boxers and trousers and shorts that uses elastic. Especially if you play football. There are some jersey shorts that they are just elastic. Now, Have you seen any of these elastic materials lose their elasticity? Right? You just notice that that trouser cannot stay on your waist again, right? It's not because you're getting thinner, but it has lost its elastic property, right? So at that point, it becomes useless. That's exactly what Hooks was trying to tell us. He said that provided that you have not exceeded that elastic limit, every force applied will be directly proportional to the tension. Now, if we are going to bring that to the principle of growth, right, you need to understand something that when it comes to growth, you need to be elastic. Now, but what does it take for you to, like I stated earlier, every rubber band or elastic material is not really useful unless you stretch it. Until you stretch it, you can't really use it. If not, you just use a rope. So for you to use an elastic material, you have to actually stretch it. So that's exactly the property we are going to be looking at here, right? Stretching. Now you're stretching yourself, right? You're stretching yourself, but even as you're stretching yourself and you're becoming more useful, you still have not broken. That's what elasticity is when it comes to growth, right? So being elastic, or rather stretching yourself, is one of the major principles if you must grow. You must stretch yourself. You have to. You have to stretch yourself. If you want to grow, you have to push beyond the limits. If you've ever been to the gym, right? And you start lifting a particular weight. And after you've done it for a while, guess what? If you have a proper coach, he would be increasing it gradually. Like he will increase the weight gradually. Okay, let me give an example. So let's say you are trying to build your body and all of that. Then you start with press up and push ups and the rest of them. To an untrained man, he just comes and I want to do 50. Pa, 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 pa. And after the 50, he's so sore that he doesn't want to try it again. But the coach will tell you, no, that's not how you do it. Bit by bit. Start with 10. And you do 10. I say, is it this 10? He say, yes. Tomorrow we'll go again. Tomorrow you say, okay, just add 1 at the end. Then you do 11. I'm like, this easy thing. Before you know, you say add 1 at the end. Then you do 12. Add 1 at the end. Then you do 13. Add 1 at the end. And before you know, in a matter of weeks, you're doing 50 and you have not felt sore one day. Yes. That is you stretching little by little. Right? So we are going to look at a few things when we are talking about this principle of elasticity. A wise man said that growth stops when you lose the tension between where you are and where you could be. When you lose the tension between where you are and where you could be. Now, for you, from where you are to where you could be, you have to stretch. When you lose that tension, when you can no longer stretch where you are to where you are supposed to be, your growth stops. Any point where you've stretched to and you can't stretch beyond, your growth stops. Have you heard this statement that, I did my best? Like you failed, bro. You failed. What you did, there was no result. You did something and, it was bad. And you console yourself with, I did my best. It's only a mediocre person that is always at his best. It's only a mediocre that is always at his best. So now tell me, with how big, with how well, with how, humongous someone like Cristiano Ronaldo is, yet he still goes for training. He still watches his diet. Talk about stretching. The rubber band is only useful when it's stretched. The same thing with you. You right? So what you need to understand is that there are certain things I want to tell you about, the principle of elasticity. Number one is that only a few people are willing to be stretched. Only few people want to be stretched. Most times you discover that you get to an office and people are trying to maintain, you know, this is my role, this is my work, I not do past this work. Right? Why? So they would rather sit idling than get themselves busy with someone else's work that is not theirs. Yeah. And you know why? The reward for hard work is more work. But the truth of the matter is, if you're not stretched, you cannot reach your full potential. So you need to understand that only few people want to be stretched. And this is one of the reasons why, this guy sang is lonely at the top, lonely, lonely, lonely. It's not because people don't like getting to the top or people don't like staying at the top, but just a few persons are willing to stretch themselves well enough to get to the top. Right? As a matter of fact, do you know that so many graduates, a huge percentage of Nigerian graduates never pick up a book to read after graduation? As a matter of fact, I see people priding on social media that after this final year exam, even somebody are not going to read. Like, are you serious? Okay, you have decided that this is where my growth ends. And no wonder, little wonder, why a lot of people are suffering. So the first thing you need to understand about being stretched is that only a few persons are willing to be stretched. Number two, a lot of people settle for average. They settle for the status quo. They settle for the status quo. Somebody said, if you plan on being anything less than you are capable of being, you will probably be unhappy all the rest of your life. If you plan on being anything, right? If you plan on being anything less than you are capable of being, don't settle for less. Don't settle for average. Don't settle for being a mediocre. Please stop settling for your comfort zone. Do you understand? Now, a lot of people will choose their comfort over their potential. A lot of people they'll prefer their comfort over their potential. Like, who potential help? They just prefer, let me just live my life, my pious life, I don't want too much, if I just have my wife, my children, a small house that one or two cars, I don't want anything to. Are you serious? Are you serious? Don't settle for the status quo. Don't settle for being average. Right? If you understand this, a lot of people that have jackpot will not have jackpot because they have jackpot and gone there and they are suffering like hell. Is it bad to jackpot? No, but the truth is the mindset you're going with is exactly where your problem is. You are settling for less. You've just calculated it. You have said, okay, so $1 is 1,200. So if I go to the UK and I'm earning, or if I go to the US and I'm earning $10 per hour, that means I'm making like 12K per hour, man. Imagine if I work 10 days, I'm making 80K per day. Man, then you compare it with your 30,000 naira salary in Nigeria, then you're like, oh boy, I don't even want much. Just let me just manage. Then you go there and discover that no more. But I don't hang for that wire. Right? So one of the things you need to understand is that be willing to choose your potential against your comfort. Stretch out of your comfort zone. Number three, your stretching starts from inside out. Your stretching starts from inside. Stretch yourself from inside. Get books to read. There's a very powerful book, Think and Grow Rich. That means for you to grow rich, you must first think. And that's the whole idea of the Mind and Money series. that your money in your pocket cannot be increased until your mind capacity is. And that's the whole idea of this growth series, this growth secrets. That's for you to move from where you are to where you want to be. You must first move from inside. That's why a wise man said, James Allen said, you cannot travel within and stand still without. It's not possible. You cannot travel within and stand still without. You cannot read 10 powerful books and you do not see change in your life. Like, it's not possible. It's not possible. And can I tell you something? Most of the great men that have lived and walked on this earth, most of them have documented everything they did in books. But you have not bothered to read any. You've not bothered to read any. You cannot travel within and stand still without. All of us, we are a result of the choices we make. Can I tell you something? Do you know human beings are the only species that find it difficult to reach their potential? Right? Every life form strives to reach its maximum potential, except humans. Except humans. Let me ask you a question. How tall do you think a tree will grow? If there's no disaster, how long do you think a tree will grow? As tall as it can possibly grow. That's true. How high do you think an eagle will fly? As high as it can possibly fly. So humans are the only species that do not strive to hit maximum. They tell us that only Albert Einstein have been able to tap into 5% of his brain capacity. And we are okay with it. With that 5%, look at everything he has, just look at all what he has given to us when it comes to science. Somehow, you don't even want to scratch 1% of yours. Right? Stretching starts from inside. The question is, what are you doing now? And what are you actually capable of doing? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Measure what you are doing now against what you are capable of doing. Right? Number 4, stretching will always require change. Stretching will always require change. Now, to grow, you must be willing. To grow, you must be willing, to let your present and your future be different from your past. For you to grow, you must be willing to let your present and your future be different from your past. According to Sir Albert Einstein, he said insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Stretch yourself, and that stretching requires change. You cannot keep doing the same thing that got you to where you are and keep doing the same thing for you to move from where you are to where you are supposed to be. No. It's wrong. It's madness. It's insanity. And in the words of George Eliot, it's never too late to be what you might have been. It's never too late to be what you might have been. Number 5, stretching would always set you apart from others. Always. Always. Do you know that in your office, there are some people that are not easily dispensable? Do you know? Stretching will always set you apart. There's something I usually tell my people. If your absence is not felt, your presence is not needed. If you must stand apart in your office, in your home, in whatever it is you do, if you're a part of a team, if you're a part of a business, if you're a part of a company, if you must stand apart, the question is, you need to ask yourself is, how can I quickly distinguish myself as a winner? How can I quickly distinguish myself? If you are given a task, do you overdo it? Do you do it and beat all expectation? That's stretching. If you are given a deadline, do you meet up? Do you meet up before the deadline, way before the deadline? If you are told to prepare a slide or a presentation, do you go over and above to give a killer presentation? That's what we are talking about. Or do you need follow-up? You need to be followed up. Okay, so this thing happened. He said, sir, as I was coming, one bed shit on my cap. And as the cap now fall, motor now jam the leg, then, stretching will set you apart from others. If you plan, and if you actually, remember I started with it's lonely, add it up. Stretching will set you apart. So if you want to be that among those few that will get to the top, you need to stretch yourself. You need to stretch yourself. Right? Number 6, stretching should be a lifestyle. It's not a once and for all something that you just stretch once. No. Every single day you want to go. The competition is not between you and another person. The competition is between you of today and you of yesterday. Stop pursuing other people on their journey. Have you ever been driving before, then all of a sudden a car goes past you with speed? Boom! And you're like, oh, this guy says a big driver. I go show and say my car they move. Then you fix the gear, you pump the accelerator, and before you know, you're on a race. Then you do that race, and before you know, you miss the turn where you are supposed to go to. Why? Because you are chasing another person on his own journey. Yeah. I know people that it has happened to. Right? Stretching should be a lifestyle. The fight is between you of today and you of yesterday. A wise man said, if you won't be better tomorrow than you were today, what do you need tomorrow for? If you know you will not be better, if you're not doing anything about being better today, being better tomorrow than you were today, question, what do you need tomorrow for? What do you really need tomorrow for? Stretching should be a lifestyle. It should be a lifestyle, right? Then, finally, stretching gives us a shot at significance. Stretching gives us a shot at significance. One of the things you need to understand is God gives us all opportunity. God gives us all opportunities. I was listening to, a huge icon, and he said that there are 3 C's in life: chances, choices, and consequences. God gives us chances. Then we have the liberty to choose. That's we now make choices. Then, of course, if you make choices, you would have to live with the consequences of your choices. What this means is that every single day, God gives us an opportunity to start again. You failed yesterday, it's fine. The sun will rise tomorrow. It's an opportunity to start again. You failed last month. There's going to be happy new month next month. Start again. You failed last year. Guess what? January 1st, you have a chance to start again. God gives us opportunity to make a difference. And do you know how he does that? By showing us the possibilities that we are capable of. No wonder a wise man said that the possibility is a hint from God that one must follow. Right? To be what we are and to become what we are capable of becoming is the only end in life. To be what we are and to move from what we are to what we are capable of becoming. That's the only end in life. That's the only time when you can sleep, when your time is done and sleep fulfilled. Stretch yourself. Stretching will give you a shot at significance. Stretching would put you, will put your name etched in the sands of time. People will read about you in books. Stretching, stretching. If everybody was living to their full potential, there will be less problems in this world because everybody has a potential. So the end of this life is to be what we are. And most importantly, to become what we are capable of becoming. How do you get this thing done? Three things. Three things. Three things to get. Three ways to get this thing done. Number one, you need to identify areas of your life that need stretching. You need to identify areas that you need, to go over and above. What are those areas in your life that man? I need to push. I need to push. What are those areas? What are those areas that I've been too comfortable within this place? I need to step out. I need to move from my comfort zone to my courage zone. You need to step out. Identify those areas. Number two, remember I started with Hooke's law, that provided the elastic limit is not exceeded. And one of the ways you can maintain tension and not exceed elastic limit is to work with the right time frame. While you're working, time is of essence. I always tell people, you cannot manage time. You can only manage yourself against time. Time is one thing that both the rich, the poor, the mediocre, the successful, everybody have in equal quantity. You cannot manage time. You can only manage yourself against time. And if you must stretch successfully, you need to maintain tension. And one of the ways to do that is to ensure that your goals they are time bound, the right and appropriate time frame. Then number three, dream big. Dream big. If your dream does not scare you, my dear, you are not dreaming. If your dream does not scare you, if it's not what will wake you up at night, if it's not something that you look at it and say, can I achieve this? Trust me, you're not dreaming. All these your small dreams, it's not going to stretch you. You won't attain your potential. So dream big, guys. Dream big. And guess what? There's enough room at the top if you care for it. One thing I can tell you for free, that if you put in the work, I'm sure that there's going to be enough room for you at the top. All right, so this is where I'm going to bring this meeting to a close. I want to believe you gained value. I really want to believe you gained value. And if you did, you know what to do. Share the video, like it, tell your friends about it. And thank you for staying on till day 85. 15 days to go. So tomorrow, we continue with day 86, the business therapy session. I'm sure it's going to be an amazing time, right? Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for being with us all this while. Until I come your way again tomorrow, you have a wonderful night. God